in the same region, it's called Assyria. Osiris.
Yeah, this means unknown land, which this is America. Okay, so they came over here. Somebody they gonna keep the law, keep their laws, statutes and stuff. But see, they came over here and began to be wicked, eat flesh and all that, committing abominations. See, high abominations, man. See. So, man, read that Hosea 8 they're gonna talk about. Back in Hosea 8:13, it reads, here we go. Hosea 8:13, it reads, they sacrifice flesh for the sacrifice of mine offerings and eat it. But the Lord Yahweh Shemiah Shai accepted them not. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins, they shall return to Egypt. Y'all gonna return into bondage. Yep. See? So, hey man, the Heavenly Father's cold. He ain't gonna forget nothing you do. He that leaves into captivity shall go into captivity. So guess what? He not gonna forget none of the things you Edomites are doing. Exactly. You see, it's a book called The House of Israel by Manasseh ben Israel. If you look on page 112, he had this guy named Alexio Varnegas basically was saying when he first colonized the West Indies, he was saying that they were Carthaginians there, okay? When he first went to the West Indies, okay? Then he said that he went to Hispaniola next, and them same Carthaginians were there, which Hispaniola is the Dominican Republic. Because you gotta remember the northern tribe came first. We know right now that Levi and Simeon and Levi, the Dominican and Haitians, on the same island. But you gotta remember, the southern tribe didn't come to 1600. So that's why in the 1400s, they went to the Highland Hispaniola, it was just Dominicans. See? Okay, then when they went up to Cuba, then they went into America. He said the same Carthaginian people were there. Then he came to New Spain. New Spain is what you call, New Spain is Mexico and Peru. So they went through all them islands. They got to the islands, they went north, they come back down to Mexico, and they noticed the same Carthaginian people were there. Now the Carthaginians were who? I'm gonna show you who they were. The Carthaginians. Okay? Carthaginians. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Carthaginians. Now in that book, it's called that book by Manasseh ben Israel, The Hope of Israel. It says the Carthaginians was a Phoenician civilization during classic antiquities, beginning from founding of Carthage in modern Tunisia in the 9th century into destruction in 146 BC. Okay, we know who was around 140 and 150 BC. Okay, that's a clue. When you read in the Apocrypha, when you read in the Maccabees, that's 140s, 150s, 160s. Okay, that's the timeline. So that's one clue. Okay, they were a major power in the ancient world. Okay, Carthaginians. Okay, Carthaginians. Let's look at something else. Trying to think. They dominated the Western Mediterranean. They always had conflicts with the neighbors. They had rivals. And that'll be a clue. Okay? It says the Carthaginians, they fought in Punic Wars. Right? The Romans destroyed the Carthage in 146 BC after the Third Punic War. Okay? So
If the Carthaginians, if dude said when he came over here they were Carthaginians, okay? So you got your phone, type in famous Carthaginians. Carthaginians, C. Type this in. Famous Carthaginians. Let's see who a famous Carthaginian. You gonna see
famous Carthaginians. It says Carcasella, his son, Babia, Perpetua, that's an early Christian martyr.
You see a name called Hannibal?
Hannibal at the bottom, right there.
There it is, Hannibal.
General.
See who is Hannibal? Hit Hannibal, see what he look like.
Yeah, it says most famous Carthaginians is Hannibal
Barker.
The Carthaginian general. Hannibal, 24 to 182 BC, was one of the greatest military leaders in history. His most famous campaign took place during the Second Punic War, 218 to 202, when he caught the Romans off guard by crossing Alpes. And then it's in the image right here.
Got that one. That look like a Jake though. Look at the face.
Yeah.
This is the image I got in color. See, that's Hannibal. That's the image I got in color. Boom. See there?
Yeah.
Show that to the camera. See, that's a Jake. So when Alexia Varnigos came over here, he said, I saw Carthaginians. So he already knew from the old world who the Carthaginian was. They were Israelites. Okay? They were Israelites. That's who the Carthaginian was. They were Israelites, man. Okay? So that lets you know the people that you saw on the islands when he came over here, he was looking at Israel. Yep. Looking at Israelites, man. All right? Get a 1 Chronicles 12 and 32. Now we already read 2 chapter 13. We'll show you how this is going to lead into what we're going to read. 1 Chronicles 12 and 32.
Let's look at 1 Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32. And it reads, and of the children of Issachar,
the so-called Mexicans, okay? Deuteronomy 28:37, some bywords, okay?
which were men that had understanding of the times.
Understanding of the times, okay? They said they had understanding of the times, meaning they understood astronomy and astrology, okay? Knowing the zodiacs and how to read them. They read the stars, okay? Go ahead.
To know what Israel ought to do.
What they ought to do, what they should do, and where the way to go. Go ahead. They had a hell of a spirit of discernment. That's why we read that scripture in the Apocrypha. When they went in them waters, they knew where to go by reading the stars. They knew looking up where they was going, north, south, east, and west. They knew where the North Star was. They knew the North Star. They knew to go opposite of it. They knew if they saw the Big Dipper, the tail, they knew that tail was probably going to be pointing west. They knew which way to go. The spirit of ships.
It says, to know what Israel ought to do, the heads of them were 200, and all three brethren were all their commandments.
They were all under their command, right? Because they were the one who could see and read the heavens. So if you out here in a damn boat, not knowing where you're going, but you got a certain group that know what they talking about, you at their command. They tell you, hey, do this, do that, you gonna do it. Because you don't know. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't know where the way to go. So you gonna follow them. If y'all got 3 ships going, wherever they go, you gonna take your ship the same way they go. You gonna follow them. You gonna be at their command. Okay? They were smart people, man. Very smart. You know, and Issachar smart now. They really smart now. Why you think Esau and them, they have such a problem with cartels and different things of that nature? Because Issachar's smart. You thought you was gonna stop them from climbing on the wall? Shit, they just dig under the ground. They smart. It's simple. They got intricate tunnels under these grounds. Issachar's smart, man. They hard worker and they smart. You know, they'll fix your car. They know how to do all this shit. When it come to working on houses, paint, they know how to do all that hard ass labor shit. They don't mind doing it for some money.
They mess with you. They got your back too.
Yeah, that's Issachar, man. Cause they warriors.
Yep, they protect their people.
You see, they warrior, man. Family orientated, and they warriors when you go into scripts. Okay, that's Issachar. Okay, the so-called Mexicans. Okay, now let's go back to Genesis. We're gonna go through the next one. Go to we had 17 or 16.
Genesis 49 and
16, I think.
In the book of Genesis 49 and 16, and it reads, Dan shall judge his people.
Who?
Dan shall judge his people.
Now it goes into Dan. Dan was one of the original tribes, but guess what? In the end, you don't see Dan's name in there. When you go to Revelation 7, okay? Dan means what? Judge, okay? Dan was one of the judges. Go ahead.
As one of the tribes of Israel, verse 17, Dan shall be a separate serpent by the way.
And Dan shall be a serpent by the way. So he had Dan was like a serpent unto the enemies of Israel. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, an adder in the path.
Adder in the path, man. Okay? Dan attacked the enemies sudden, with viciousness, quickness. Okay, that's how you attack. Because an adder attack you out of nowhere. You don't even see it. An adder is like a poisonous snake in the path. You walk right up on it and don't even know it. Then he got you. Bam. That's how Dan was. Sneak attacks. They was hell on the enemies of Israel. You see? Go ahead.
That biteth the horse heel, so that his rider shall fall back.
Biteth the horse heel so the rider fall back and be knocked off the horse. Right? So Dan helped knock out our enemies, man. Okay? But guess what? Dan was heavy. He sent our people into idolatry. That was Dan's main thing. Okay, go to Deuteronomy 33 and 22. Baba Bashar. Baba Bashar. We're going to knock out Dan too as well.
33 and 32?
Yes, sir.
33 and 22.
Oh, 20. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 22.
Whole Judges 13. Go ahead.
And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp.
Dan is a lion's whelp. Okay? So Dan has the characteristics of a lion, so to speak. Courageous and warlike people. Okay? He was courageous and warlike, man. He had courage. He had strength. See? An example of that is Samson. Go to the book of Judges 13 to 24. Because Dan was Samson was a Danite, so to speak. Okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 13, in verse
24.
Verse 24. And it reads, and the women bare a son, they called his name Samson.
A woman bare a son, she called his name Samson. Okay, go ahead.
And the child grew, and the Lord Yahweh Shah blessed him.
Bless him, go ahead.
And it reads verse 25, and the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shah began to move him at times in the camp of Dan between Zohar and Astor.
So Samson was a Danite. Okay, he's from that tribe of Dan. He was courageous, right? You see what he did when they tied him to the column? What did he do? He pushed the column down with his bare strength. Killed like 3,000 people. You see? That was a swift, vicious attack, which the Lord brought through a man on those people back there. So Dan, the tribe of Dan, even though they took our people into idolatry, Dan was the ones who attacked our enemies. Okay? But the Lord, what he did was he dispersed Dan through the rest of the tribes. Okay, that's what he did. Okay? Just like you see certain tribes get together, like we came over here, Judah was with Gad. See, the Lord put Dan into all the other tribes. See? So we don't know what tribe he in, all the tribes. But in the end, the inheritance, Dan didn't get no inheritance because of how the idolatry that he had. So he didn't get that inheritance. Go back to Deuteronomy 33.
This is Deuteronomy 33 and 22. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He shall leap from the bushes.
For Bashan.
Bashan. Verse 23.
Because he secured basically the northern part of Israel back then. Okay? That means he was going to be occupied in the rest of the tribe. When he leaving to Bashan, he was going to be put through, he was going to be immersed among the other tribes, so to speak. So when we read the 7th chapter, he didn't have no inheritance, okay? He was immersed among the rest of the tribes. Let's get that. Revelation.
Revelation
7. 1 through 8.
Book of Revelation chapter 7. Revelation chapter 7. I'm going to start at the top. And it reads, after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth.
What's the 4 winds?
The destruction.
Thermonuclear destruction.
And it says, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any of the trees.
Go ahead.
Verse,
trees represent the people. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power.
Go ahead.
And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
That's cool. Seal servants, our power in their foreheads. Right? But you go back into that precept, take you back into Ezekiel the 9th chapter. Right? Decide to put that mark. That particular mark is the wah, meaning the zim from judgment. Okay? So that's what the Lord, that's that mark he's going to be putting on. Okay? See that? Go ahead.
Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
12,000 out of each tribe.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. And of verse 6. And of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Verse 7. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Verse 8. And of the tribe of Zebulun was still 12,000. And of the tribe of Joseph was still 12,000.
See, right then it say nothing about Dan. So Dan had been immersed through all the tribes because of the wickedness, idolatry that they was doing. So they were mixed in with the other tribes. That's why you don't see no inheritance. Just like the Levites, man. The Levites was the priests, man. Okay? You see, just like them, man. They were the priests, so they really didn't have that inheritance either. That's why I said they used to live in the suburbs. You remember that scripture where it's talking about they lived in the suburbs? And they didn't have that inheritance as well, just like they. Okay, read verse 9.
Verse 9, it reads, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations, kindred, and people, and tongues stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes.
Now go back and read it over.
In the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9.
Slow up, read.
After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number.
Great multitude, nobody can number. Okay, we are the sand of the sea. Israelites, go ahead.
Of all nations and kindreds.
Now this is what them churches be talking about. See, everybody, they said all nations. But see, you gotta remember, each tribe of the nation of Israel is a nation within itself. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes.
Now, to let you know that's talking about Israel, let's get Isaiah 11, verse 12. Look at Isaiah 11.
This is the book of Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass in that day
In that day,